The year 1954 marked an interesting chapter in the long and storied history of the Lincoln wheat penny. This coin, part of the beloved wheat cent series designed by Victor David Brenner, continued to serve as a symbol of America's endurance and economic strength as the nation moved through the post-war years into a new era of prosperity. The 1954 wheat penny remained a cornerstone of everyday American life, appearing in cash registers, grocery stores, gas stations, and pocket change across the country. Millions of these coins circulated daily, each one carrying the familiar image of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the classic twin wheat stalks on the reverse, which had come to symbolize abundance, unity, and growth since their introduction in 1909. In 1954, the United States Mint produced wheat pennies at 3 facilities, Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Each mint struck a large number of coins to meet national demand. The Philadelphia Mint coins were produced without a mint mark, while the Denver and San Francisco coins bore the letters D and S, respectively. The 1954 D penny became the most common of the three as Denver's output was enormous that year. Over 251 million coins came from Denver, making it one of the highest mintages of the series. The San Francisco Mint produced a smaller quantity, roughly 96 million, while Philadelphia produced around 71 million. Even though these numbers seem huge, they reflect the massive economic activity and the wide use of coins in the 1950s, when cash transactions were still the norm. The design of the 1954 wheat penny stayed true to Brenner's original concept. Introduced in 1909, Lincoln's portrait on the obverse was based on a photograph by Matthew Brady and modeled in low relief to fit the small size of the cent. The words, "In God We Trust," appear above Lincoln's head. Liberty is placed to the left, and the date, 1954, to the right. Below the date, one might see a small mint mark indicating the city of origin. The reverse featured 2 stalks of Durham wheat curving around the sides, enclosing the inscriptions 1 cent and United States of America. The motto E pluribus unum, meaning out of many, one appears across the top. This simple yet powerful design made the wheat penny one of the most recognizable and enduring coins in U.S. history. Collectors today find the 1954 wheat penny appealing not just for its historical context, but also for its variations and errors. Some examples of the 1954 D penny show minor die breaks, repunched mint marks, or doubling, which add interest and value among enthusiasts. One of the most sought-after varieties involves the repunched D mint mark, where the letter was struck twice, slightly offset. The 1954 S penny also has minor variations in the strength and clarity of its mint mark, though these are generally more subtle than the Denver issues. Uncirculated examples of all 3 mint marks can still be found in brilliant red condition, since many rolls were saved by collectors and investors during the 1950s, anticipating that the series might soon end. The economic landscape of the United States in 1954 adds depth to the story of this coin. It was a time of recovery and optimism. The nation had emerged from World War II less than a decade earlier and was enjoying a period of strong industrial growth. Families were moving into new suburban homes, automobiles were becoming more common, and consumer confidence was high. The wheat penny was part of this booming economy, passing through countless hands as Americans purchased everyday goods. Its copper composition of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc gave it a warm, reddish tone that stood out from other coins and symbolized the nation's industrious spirit. Interestingly, by 1954, discussions were already beginning about changing the reverse design of the Lincoln cent. The wheat reverse had been in use for over 4 decades, and there was interest in modernizing the coin to celebrate the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, which would occur in 1959. That change would ultimately bring the Lincoln Memorial reverse, replacing the wheat stalks and marking the end of an era. But in 1954, few people realized that these familiar wheat pennies were nearing their final years of production. They remained part of the daily rhythm of life, simple, reliable, and instantly recognizable. In terms of preservation today, most circulated 1954. Wheat pennies are worth only a few cents above face value due to their high mintage. However, higher-grade uncirculated specimens, particularly those with strong original red color and minimal spotting, can command higher prices among collectors. The 1954D and 1954S coins in gem condition are especially desirable because fully red examples are somewhat scarce due to oxidation over the decades. Proof-like examples occasionally appear, but true proofs were not made for this year as proof coinage resumed only in 1950 and was produced solely at the Philadelphia Mint without mint marks. The story of the 1954 wheat penny is not just about a small copper coin. It is a reflection of a confident post-war America, a country embracing modernity while still rooted in its traditions. Every penny carried a piece of history with it, from the fields of wheat that inspired its design to the enduring image of Abraham Lincoln symbolizing unity and freedom. The coin connects collectors and historians alike to a time when even the smallest pieces of currency carried meaning, craftsmanship, and pride. As one studies these coins today, each nick and tone tells a silent story of countless transactions and generations that handled them, reminding us that sometimes the simplest objects carry the deepest history. This story can be expanded with deeper discussions about minting technology, coin collecting culture of the 1950s, metal composition analysis, and interviews or narrations on how wheat pennies were used in daily life during that decade. Exploring the historical footage of the U.S. mint coin presses of the 1950s commentary on Victor Brenner's design philosophy and the societal importance of Lincoln's image in post-war America would enrich the viewing experience. The 1954 wheat penny thus serves not only as a collectible artifact, but also as a window into mid-20th century America, bridging the gap between the past and the present in every small but significant detail. The 1954 wheat penny sits in a fascinating period of American numismatic history, a time when the Lincoln cent had already become an icon of trust, tradition, and national pride. The design created by Victor David Brenner in 1909 had endured for over 40 years by that point and had seen the country through two world wars, the Great Depression and the beginning of the Cold War. The coin had become more than just currency. It was a small symbol of American identity, familiar to everyone from farmers to factory workers, school children to businessmen. Each 1954 penny carried a piece of that shared legacy, moving from hand to hand as the nation evolved. In 1954, the United States Mint was operating at full strength, producing coins for a booming economy. The country had entered what historians call the golden age of post-war America,